What's cracking, everyone? Welcome to Whiskey and RPGs. My name is Solomon SK, and hope you guys are ready to hang out with your beverage of choice. And let's get you guys some awesome tri-boss gear. Cheers to you guys. So before we start, this guide is going to assume a few things. One, you are level 60, or at least very close to level 60. There are a number of guides on YouTube alone where you can find the best spots to grind, but the benefit you have is that you have tri-weapons that you get at level 56, 57, and 58. If you're hurting for gear and there's absolutely no one to help you grind or power level you through, and you're very low on silver as well, I recommend just getting to 60 first the best you can and doing secret missions 3 and 4 since they don't require any fighting at all, just silver and some time. Lastly, I also recommend having around 40 million silver. So the first two missions you get at 59 are secret missions 1 and 2, which means defeating 1000 desert nagas and defeating Calx from PFA scrolls 5 times, and I'm probably butchering those names, so I do apologize. If you head on over to the Desert Grain Bazaar, you'll see the quest marker located just north of it, but desert nagas can be found northeast and south of the Desert Naga Temple. This is pretty straightforward, but you will most likely run into other players who will fight you for your grinding spot, if not downright PK you, such as the life of BDO. Luckily, you could generally find out if that area is heavily contested with players by the amount of horses you see in the Desert Grain Bazaar itself, since most players will travel north on foot for the most part. As you can see, this seems like a little on the higher side of the player count, so let me switch servers. This seems more like it. Oh, and don't forget, even though this is optional, you can buy Marni's stones for additional experience. Since we need to defeat 1000 Desert Nagas, buy 2 Marni's stone Desert Naga Roman numeral 2. When you defeat the said enemy of the stone you buy, you can turn it in for additional experience. Lastly, don't forget you also need to carry purified water and star anise tea with you because the desert will occasionally put HP debuffs on you if you didn't know already. You can make purified water by gathering river water and filtering it by pressing L. More on this later on in the guide. And you can save some of that water and combine it with star anise via simple cooking. Or just buy them from the market if you can spare the extra silver. They're not that expensive, or at least they shouldn't be. Next, defeat Calx from PFA scrolls. You can always find scrolls written in ancient language in various parts of the desert. You can grind in and around Kadri's ruins, Bashim's base, Desert Naga Temple, which was the place where we defeated the 1000 Desert Nagas, and Titanium Valley, but I wouldn't recommend getting them this way because you will be spending countless hours and it's not even guaranteed. I highly recommend buying them from the auction house. As of recording, they will set you back about 40 million in silver for 25 of them. After you receive 25, arrange them in a plus symbol, but make sure you have the auto arrange checked off. The scrolls caution you to do them in a group, but Black Desert Online has changed a lot since launch and these scroll bosses are easily soloable. Just have around 180 to 190 AP and DP and you shouldn't have any problems. Fortunately for you, you have your tri-level weapons anyways, which puts you at a huge advantage. As you can see during my fight, more than one boss can be summoned at a time. You don't need to switch to an empty spot and server. However, other people cannot hit or be hit by the boss you summon and vice versa. The only way other people can hit your boss is if they are in your party. Next, Black Spirit's Secret Mission 3, handing over glimmering fairy wings to the Black Spirit. Now, this one could take some time, especially if you are a new player or RNG is not on your side. You need to have progressed further along in the main story quest line for this one. If you have an older account, you need to have completed boss witch hunting, which you can find all the way towards the bottom under beginning of a journey. And if you have a newer account, you need to have completed looking for adventurers under qualities of a god. Shouldn't take more than a day if you breeze through all the dialogue. As far as I can tell, there's a difference in quests depending on when you made your character because Pearl Abyss updated their quest names and organization, but it's all the same content regardless. Get the quest Fairy Queen Thea from the Black Spirit and continue on the quest chain, with the last quest being Mysterious Companion. Assuming you didn't get the glimmering fairy wings from that quest chain, you need to do Mysterious Companion again, as it is now a repeatable. Now, the easiest way to obtain Leilas Petals, in my opinion, is to do AFK fishing. It takes longer but hardly any effort, assuming you have somewhat invested into your fishing skills. Petals also drop for gathering, but that too could take hours. I highly recommend fishing in Calpheon because not many people fish there. The fish resource will always be abundant, unlike Velia and Heidel where it's always depleted. If you're starting from beginner 1 fishing, you're going to have to take shorter AFK trips than someone who is skilled higher and who can AFK fish overnight. Luckily, the better your fishing skills, the better fishing rods you can use, thus longer AFK times. Also remember that fish do not stack, so once your inventory is filled up, your character will stop fishing. There's a feature where your character can throw away fish automatically, but again, that requires more advanced fishing levels. Keep repeating the quest Mysterious Companion. As always, you have to turn in 2 petals for a sealed fairy wing, which gives you about a 4th chance of getting a glimmering fairy. When you do, talk to the Black Spirit and you will complete the quest. Fortunately, if you're having a hard time getting the petals, Pearl Abyss updated their attendance awards where you can receive 2 on the 3rd and 17th time you log into the game for free, for a total of 4. But remember, this particular attendance reward only lasts from March 19th to April 11th, 2020. All extra sealed fairy wings can be exchanged from the shy on the other side of the throne, named Celine, I believe that's how you say your name, for sweet honey wine. But in case you don't have a fairy companion, go ahead and open one up. They provide extra benefits as they level up, with glimmering fairies being able to provide the most benefits. And lastly, you need to create a farm and breed 5 special olive seeds to hand them over to the Black Spirit. You also need to hand over 1 special olive as well. Buying the special olive seeds from the auction house will not work. You will actually need to plant breed them for the quest to update. This one can also take a lot of time, but it doesn't have to if you get lucky. If you go to the auction house, buy 5 special olive seeds. They are the blue ones. Green and white grade olive seeds won't work for this quest. You can also buy just 1 special olive here as well. Easy enough. In Heidel, there is an NPC by the name of Flaviano. Talk to him and exchange 10 contribution points for a large fence.
What kind of person is Isabel?
What is your name?
I will guard my home and Heidel.
Go outside of the safe zone, you'll know when your tune starts to blink red, and right click on the fence to put it down. Now press R in the middle of the fence and plant your special olive seeds. Each seed requires 2 slots, thus you can't plant more than 5. Give it about 6 to 9 hours, press F5 to collect the seeds, and you are finally done. You can end the video here, but the next part are for people who are looking through the auction house and they can't find any special olive trees for sale, in which case you need to put in some extra work. You need to head on over to Calpheon and talk to the seed vendor named Ahr, A-H-R. I recommend buying 5 and going for the large fence because plant breeding has a chance of proccing and giving you a higher tier seed, but not always. So the more olive trees you have, the more chances of getting better seeds. So go ahead and plant the regular olive seeds in place. There are a number of things you can do to make the process go faster. You can add water and fertilizer. Of course, you can buy them at the auction house, but if silver is tight, you can also make your own as well. Buy empty bottles from the nearest material vendor. Click on the magnifying glass at the top and click on the material vendor's icon to autopath to the nearest one. Buy about 10 to 20 bottles and auto-gather them at the nearest river. Do not gather from the ocean. It will not give you the same type of water. Press L and filter the bottled river water to get purified water. Next, let's make fertilizer. You can buy multiple types of grains such as wheat, barley, and potatoes from the auction house, but if they're too expensive or there are none available, you can gather yourself outside of Velia. Invest in a gardening hoe if you can. It will make the process a lot faster, which again you can buy from the material vendor. Now press L and click on drying. Right click on the choice of grain and wait for your character to produce fertilizer. It won't work in the rain, so take that into consideration. Step on over to the fence plot and right click on your water and fertilizer in your inventory to use them on your olive seeds. The last thing you could do is have a worker tend to the garden. This will prevent your crops from getting those annoying debuffs you see on the right hand side that makes the production a lot slower. If you don't have any workers, talk to Santo Manzi. The first worker in every major city do not require any lodging. Anything after that, you need to invest contribution points, as you can see in each house. Now, when the plants are ready at 100% or more, go up to them and press F5 to collect olive seeds instead of the olives themselves. When you plant breed, you have a chance of proccing and getting the next tier or level seed, and sometimes you may also get more than one, but more often than not, you will get the same type of seed that you planted. What you want to do is get the green level or green tier olive seed, and when you do, plant those back into your farm, and when ready, plus F5 again, and hopefully you will proc the blue level or blue tier olive seeds, in which case your quest will update. But go ahead and plant those into the farm again. Do this again until you have collected 5 in total, and now finally you have your last suppressed tri-boss gear. But that does it for today's guide. I do appreciate if you made it with me so far. The watch time does help with the algorithms, but if there's anything that I left out or if there's anything that is unclear to you, leave down in the comment section your question and I will answer to the best of my abilities. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Have a blessed night, and I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.